Good morning. My name is Henrietta Wiggins, and I am the Vice Chair of the Tri-County SCORE chapter. I would like to welcome you to our virtual workshop, Using Social Media to Reach Your Clients in a New Normal. Today's workshop is part 4 of our 5-part Women's Small Business Virtual Workshop series, which is entitled 4 Strategies to Help Your Small Business Adjust to the New Norm. SCORE is a national nonprofit organization with 350 chapters and over 13,000 members throughout the United States. SCORE is dedicated to helping small businesses start, grow, and succeed. We are a resource partner to the Small Business Administration. In collaboration with the following SCORE chapters: Tri-County, Bucks County, Westchester, and Delaware counties, we serve all business owners and entrepreneurs throughout our counties. Our chapters are made up from members with experience in all areas of business. We offer free mentoring services as well as educational seminars and workshops. This workshop will close sharply around 10 a.m. this morning. Please use the chat and Q&A features to log your questions. Questions will be answered throughout today's workshop. Today's workshop will be recorded and all PowerPoint slides will be emailed to you at the close of this event. Our speakers for today's workshop will be Aaliyah Harmon and Dr. Jennifer Gardella. Good morning, ladies. It's a pleasure to have you here today. Good morning. So let's start. Let's get started. I would like to introduce today's speaker, today's moderator, Aaliyah Harmon. Aaliyah is a social media strategist, trainer, blogger, and speaker. She specializes in social media management and social media training for small and large businesses, entrepreneurs, and busy executives, as well as nonprofit organizations. She is a founder of Aaliyah Harmon Consulting, working alongside a fantastic team of professional social media marketers, graphic designers, web designers, and writers. Good morning, Aaliyah. I'm going to hand it over to you.
Good morning, Henrietta. Thank you so much for the lovely introduction. Good morning, everyone. I'm so excited to be here with you and be participating as the moderator. So just to, share a little bit of information with you, I help small business owners learn how to master the basic principles of online marketing so they can generate new leads and sales. I have an online course coming up on February 24th, and I'm going to teach you how to attract, engage, convert, and delight your customers. So if you'd like to find out more information about the course that's coming up, please put your phone number in the chats and I'll be happy to follow up with you after the training. So without further ado, I would love to introduce our featured speaker for the morning, Dr. Jennifer Gardella. So let me just pull up her bio real quick. Dr. Jennifer Gardella is your social media expert. Jennifer works with a select group of clients, supporting them with weekly blogging and daily social media. Using her time-tested strategies, she can position you as the expert and your business as the go-to place for your goods and services. And if you grew up with the phone attached to the kitchen wall, Jennifer can get you out of the overwhelm, as her superpower is explaining things in small pieces for understanding. Jennifer has had quite an interesting path to success and will share some of that story with us today. The highlights include earning a PhD in educational psychology from Rutgers University, starting her business from scratch at the age of 45, blogging for the Huffington Post, presenting a TED Talk, and speaking at the PA Conference for Women. Jennifer was raised in New Jersey by New York parents and appreciates relationships built on integrity, loyalty, and shared sarcasm. She now resides in Bucks County, PA, while her 3 daughters are launching into the world. In her spare time, you can find her exercising, writing her blog, breaking bread with her circle of trust, and working on her golf game. You can learn more about Jen on her website at jennifergardella.com. So Jennifer, I am going to, turn the reins over to you, and just some quick housekeeping notes. If you have any questions about anything, please put them in the Q&A section or in the chats, and we will try to answer those questions as we go. If we can't answer the questions during the training, we will be having a 15-minute Q&A session at the end. So Jennifer, have at it.
Well, hi, everyone. It's nice to be here. Normally, when we do this in person, I say, great to meet everybody in the room. I would encourage you to put information in the chat and reach out to me and reach out to Aaliyah and I during this presentation so that we can get questions answered specific to your business or not. Just general social media questions, everything is welcome. We'll try to get to whatever we can. So I actually gave a similar presentation to this at the very beginning of COVID. It was sometime in March. And as I was going through those slides, something came very clear to me. Everything has changed and almost nothing has changed at the same time. So what I'm going to do today is go through the basics of social media, but in the spin of what I've learned over the last now 9 to 10 months as we've moved through this new normal. So first, I want to remind everybody why we are doing this. We are not on social media just to be, just to look good or advertise our business. There's a lot of different aspects of what we do out there on the web to promote our businesses. So we want to be found in search. We want to reach our ideal clients where they're hanging out on the internet. I think it's really important to understand that based on certain demographics of people and their interests, they hang out different places. Some like to read blogs, some like Twitter, some stay on Facebook all day. We also want to show your ideal clients that you are the ones to solve their problems. I don't really like to say we want to talk about the pain points that they're having. What we want to do, though, is talk about your expertise on the internet, how you solve those pain points. You also want to create professional connections. If there's one thing we've learned in this new normal, it's that it's your connections and your ability to connect with people quickly that is so important. When someone hears your name, you need a presence out there that supports your expertise. So nowadays, we're all sitting inside at our computers all day. When someone hears your name from a recommendation or they see it in a LinkedIn post, they're going to Google you. So the question is, what's out there about you on the internet? And we want you to be top of mind. And what does that mean? When someone is looking for your goods and services, when they finally realize that they need you, we want to make sure that they say, oh, I've seen her posts, or I've seen her blogs, or I've seen her interact. And so you are top of mind. So I just want to give you guys a little brief intro. Aaliyah read my bio. My name is Dr. Jennifer Gardella, and I provide monthly support to my clients. I want to be clear about the work that I've done. When you Google me, quite a bit of stuff will come up there on the internet, and I've done it all myself, and you guys really can too. You do not need a pile of money to do this. It's rather easy when you talk about writing for the bigger publications, doing TED Talks, writing your blogs, doing your social media postings. You can absolutely do it yourself. Now, the big result I get from my clients is that I get them out of overwhelm. As Leah said in my bio, a lot of us did grow up with the phone attached to the kitchen wall, and it's very complicated. I know some of you still want the phone book back. It's not coming back, I don't think, in today's modern world. But I get you out of overwhelmed. Your social media accounts are active, your blog is building, and your digital presence is attracting the right clients into your business. So I know a lot of people right now in this new normal, they're having a problem attracting the right clients into their business. And so we're going to talk about that. So I know that you guys are overwhelmed. You're not sure what to do. You're not sure who to trust. And there is way too much information. And you may be sitting there like, oh my gosh, how does Jen know this? And it's because I was overwhelmed as well. So when I started in the field years ago, I was actually the director of marketing for a law firm that had lost its position in Google. And within a couple of months, dedicating 40 to 50 hours a week to learn, we rewrote and redesigned the website. We redid the blog, started blogging a couple times every week, and we pushed out a very strategic social media campaign. And what happened was within 4 months, we had reclaimed that first spot in Google. I know many of you would like to do this, so I'm going to teach you the basics of what we have to get done today. But I just want to say that it's possible for you to do it. But the trick is right now, we need to get you out of overwhelm. And that is my goal. What typically happens, I will warn you, is if you're new to this type of presentation, you kind of feel like a fire hose is turned on. So, and you're just flooded with information. And that may happen to some of you today. I just always want to say, right on my website, jennifergardella.com, you can book a call with me and we can start to get you even fine-tune some of those pieces that you're overwhelmed with. So the big question that I get asked all the time, especially by new clients, is, will this work? Jen, will your strategy work? And I'm pretty clear, it's going to work. It's all part of a bigger strategy that you have to build your business. This is also a slow build. You can't expect anything that I'm going to teach you today, new normal or old normal, to work within a week. It's very rare that we hear, you know, one of my clients picks up their phone and says, hey, I read your blog post and I'd love to book a call with you. Usually it takes about 6 months for everything to get working, for you to build that web and for Google to find you. I also want to be clear that you need to be doing other things as well. I've had clients call me and say, look, I'm sick of the networking. I'm sick of hearing about my sales process. I just want to hire you to do blogging and social, and then I can just sit back. It actually doesn't work like that. You need all of the other pieces in your business to be coordinating very clearly with your online presence. And here is one thing that I have learned in this new normal. You need to be more authentic now, absolutely more than ever, because there are so many individuals, so many businesses plowing through digital marketing, and we've all gotten them, and I'll talk about it when we get to LinkedIn, talking about, you know, spam messages on LinkedIn. I just delete them as soon as I get them. So your writing and your outreach needs to be authentic. So I want to first go over a digital marketing plan. This is actually part of a bigger handout that you can get right on my website, jennifergardella.com. This is what you need to worry about in the digital marketing space. Now, if you're new to the game, you're going to take on a couple of these. You're not going to try to do it all by 5 o'clock today. We're going to talk a lot about each of these. We're also going to skip over some of these, but I'd like to give you a full picture of what you need to be doing. You need to be worrying about SEO. Absolutely have an editorial calendar. You need a great website promoting your business. You need an active blog. Linking, reviews are critical, especially for those of you on this call who are hyper-local businesses. You need a clear social media campaign and strategy. Email marketing is making a huge comeback. Link building, which we don't talk about, but I'm happy to jump on a call and talk to you guys about that. Video, no one really likes to do video because they don't like to watch themselves on their videos, but video marketing, when you talk about YouTube, live videos on Facebook and on Instagram, it is one of the biggest ways that you can make a huge difference, both for SEO and outreach. Pay-per-click, PPC campaigns, and then we will talk a little bit about automation right at the very end. So the first thing, which is now number 2. I don't know how that happened. There's always something fun that comes up in these presentations. So the first thing, which is number 2 that we're going to talk about, is search engine optimization. So if you haven't heard about SEO, search engine optimization, this is the very clear way that you make sure that your website is ready for people to find you. So if you want to know about how people are finding you or your competitors, Google some things that you do. And we will talk about that in a minute as well. It is about, you win the SEO game by having the right keywords written into your website. So the next part that we go over is keyword research. You want to be adding new and fresh content to your website. Google, believe it or not, considers you a more credible business if you are continually adding new content to your website. This looks like blog posts and website articles. Link building, kind of a heavy topic to handle, but I wanted to put it out there just so you understood and had it on your list of things to consider. Now, the SEO is also largely based on some technical factors, and page speed is one of them. If you have a slow website, you're in trouble. The number of people visiting your website, incredibly important, and your website must be responsive. In today's world, especially over the last 10 months, everyone is on their phones all the time. And so your website must be able to adjust. It must be responsive based on how people are searching for you. So you need to make sure your website can adjust to your phone, a laptop, a big screen. And then reviews. Again, if you're a hyperlocal business, reviews are critical. If you're a national business or a business consultant, or you can do work anywhere, not as critical. But we want to make sure that your Google reviews off of Google Maps, that you are adding content, or you're adding reviews to that continually. And then you're also taking reviews on Yelp if that's important, and also even on Facebook. So we're going to go back. You'll see here, number one, I talked about having the right keywords written into your website. So what are your keywords and how do you find them? This is one of the first things I do with my clients, and they're often shocked. So if you want to rank for doing something interesting out there in your business, you've got to make sure that not only is your expertise shining through your website, blogs, and social media, but also the way that your ideal clients are searching for you. You may think that your ideal clients are searching for you in a specific way based on your expertise. I can guarantee you they are not. They are searching on the services and problems that they need at that moment, the problems they have, and that you can solve them. So they're short-term, short-tail keywords and long-tail keywords, and they are largely 60% of all Google searches these days are question-based. So for instance, I work with a lot of divorce attorneys, and that is a new normal. If you work in the space of divorce, your business is probably thriving right now, or at least it should be. People are searching on how much alimony am I going to have to pay? They're not searching for, your legal expertise, like, oh, I need an attorney that went to Harvard. They want to know that you're going to get down in the trenches with them and solve their immediate problems. How do I solve this? They are also, believe it or not, searching for the best divorce attorney in the Philadelphia area, the best divorce attorney in South Jersey. So if you want to rank on those terms, you need to make sure that those terms are written into your website. You also, as I just indicated, want to make sure that where you practice, where your business is located, where you do business, is written into your website. If you help individuals, kids, and families get into colleges, which is another very hot sector right now because of the new normal, and you want to rank in Bucks County for college help, whether it be writing essays or applications to college, make sure that Bucks County, I'm up here in Doylestown, and I do have clients in this space, Bucks County, Doylestown are written into your website. Now, one of the things that I should say one of my superpowers is that I actually have the ability to think like your ideal client. So we can get on a call and I can talk to you about what it is you do. We can talk about who your ideal client is, and I can help you figure out what they are searching for on the web. That's how you need to structure all of your digital marketing. You need to think like your ideal client. Take off your hat, put on theirs. Now, the other thing that I want you to do, and we're going to go into the steps of keyword research in a minute, I want you to just sit around and spend some time Googling what it is that you do. So you help kids into college, you're a divorce attorney, you may help people manage their health insurance, their life insurance, whatever it is, and see who pops up. And then go to those websites, it's called competitor research, and you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. They have the right keywords written into their website. And then the other thing I want you to do is Google your name. We are learning what we've learned in the last 10 months, like I've already said, connections are critical. It is those individual connections. I know I do a ton of connection calls with individuals, either to help them with their digital marketing or to build my own business. And the very first thing I do when someone contacts me or I want to reach out to them is I Google who they are. And usually the ones that are doing a really good job pop to the top of the list. Now, if you're not on the top of the list or right now, that's fine. We can get you there, but it's going to take some work. I will share that when I got into this business, my business strategist said to me, you need to Google your name. And I did. And I was horrified that I was nowhere. And he said, of course you're nowhere. You don't have anything out there on the web yet. So it takes some time, but it's not that hard to do. So again, I want to just run through these very quickly. Steps to keyword research. It is not just what you want to rank for. It's what you do through the filter of how your ideal client is searching for you. So you're going to talk about your core practice areas, whatever it is that you do. I have some friends on here in real estate and in title insurance, and we've been working very hard to get them to realize it's all about seeing their business through their ideal client lens. So how do I sell my house? Tips to sell my house, that kind of thing. What are your competitors writing about? I want you to look at their blogs, their social. Who do you want to look like? That's a big piece of this. You may have a competitor that's ranking very highly, but you may not want to look like them. So I want you also to go out there and look at websites that are on the web that are highly ranking in fields that are related to yours, that you want to look, people that you want to look like. Now, here's one of my biggest tips, and that's the 5 questions that usually are asked when people call you, or 5 questions that people should be asking. It's called the 5x5 matrix. I talk about it a bunch when I speak. So what are the top questions that people typically ask your ideal client typically asks when they call your office? And then what questions should they ask? Now, the next couple of suggestions, which I talk about all the time as well, they can help inform your keyword research. So you want to look at a site called Yoast. There's Moz Keyword Explorer, Google AdWords, and there's a website that's crazy. It's a really funky website, but super fun to play on when you're doing this, and it is called Answer the Public. All of these will start to inform your keyword research. So make sure that you keep a detailed list in one place. You're going to tweak it. I'm always tweaking my clients' keyword research list because new things always come up, but this is the basic process that you're going to use. So what needs to be included on your website? Now, again, in the new normal, you need something very authentic, and it's not hard to put the right concepts into your website. Your website should be a WordPress website. There should be articles on your core business areas with your keywords. One thing I really want to encourage you that is hotter than ever is creating those videos and embedding them on your website. The great part of being in the middle of COVID right now is you don't really have the ability to go out there, and people are no longer expecting you to have very clear, polished $10,000 videos done for your website. You just need, honestly, the best video, which all the experts will tell you to use. The best camera is your iPhone. You can also get a high-def camera, but create videos, put them on your website. Again, you want that blog that is regularly updated. You want your website to be well-linked. Again, you want it responsive, those SEO bells and whistles, the keywords written into your copy. And here's the kicker that people don't remember. I want to make sure that your social media connect buttons are on your website, that people can share information from your website easily to social media, that you have a bio on your website that has a very clear link to your LinkedIn profile. This is critical if you are B2B. We are watching LinkedIn is becoming the hottest B2B platform out there. So make sure you're very well connected on LinkedIn. And we do have a slide about that as well. Okay, so just very, very quickly, I did this for our accountants in the group. Core business area articles, just to kind of put this in a context, we want to make sure that you have articles on taxes, obviously, for individuals, families, and business. We want to make sure that you have audit help. Look in your files, right? So whenever I speak to accountants, whenever I work with an accountant, I say to them, let's get out your files. Let's see who your ideal clients are from the past. And also what I want you to make sure that you do on your website, talk to your website developer, put a box on there for people to opt in, get something free from you so you can start collecting email addresses. I said it before, this is the hottest new, well, it's not new, it's kind of email marketing is making a resurge because it's a way to reach people. We can't go to networking groups anymore. This is all we have. Okay, so the next piece that I want to talk about is your editorial calendar. Now, this usually sends people right under, hiding under the sofa. Editorial calendars are amazing because they keep you incredibly organized. The problem is, well, like me in my business, I'm really good at creating a beautiful editorial calendar and then actually not following it. Your editorial calendar is going to be the place that you go to when you have ideas for social media, for blogging. And what it does is allows you to look long-term. So you can actually look, it's a great time to start because it's January. You can actually look between now and the end of the year, what important ideas, concepts, holidays are beneficial for your business to be writing about. So for instance, I was on a networking call already this morning, a 7 o'clock call, and the florist that was on the networking call reminded us all that Valentine's Day is coming up. So that's very important for his editorial calendar. Besides Mother's Day, it's one of the biggest days of the year for them. He needs to start planning his blog posts, his LinkedIn posts, his Facebook posts around Valentine's Day now. So an editorial calendar will help you do that. It does not help you at all to start talking about Valentine's Day on February 14th, especially if your business is something that there's a transaction that needs to happen. So make sure that you plan it out. Now, what are you going to be creating with your editorial calendar? Your social media themes, your website articles. You're going to write about what are your blog posts that you're putting on your website going forward. And I'll just give you a big tip here. If you're going to plan out an editorial calendar, there are some great ways to get some blog posts very easily written for you in today's space. Again, in the new normal, there's a lot of people in the gig economy that are doing either starting second businesses, or they are just taking on extra work. So I can definitely point you in the direction of some resources to have some things written rather inexpensively that will at least get you started. LinkedIn long posts are, again, if you're in the B2B space, you can have your newsletters all planned out, pictures, just so that you have an idea of the pictures that you're going to need going forward. What videos are you going to do? And even, are you going to offer PowerPoints? PowerPoints are a great way. Some people do like to learn by flipping through a PowerPoint. And when we get on the phone and have a call, I can even give you further tips. If you want to do PowerPoints, you can shoot them right into video. I do it all the time. If I can figure it out on tech, you guys can. So here are even some more ideas. You want to talk about news-related articles in your business. You want to talk about, again, answer those questions in the 5x5. What do people ask when they call you, and what should they ask? You can feature a client story if you have permission. You can feature your staff members. One of the issues that a lot of businesses are having is they feel disconnected from their staff because people are choosing or still working from home. Everyone is on Facebook these days. So what I'm really encouraging some of my clients to do, again, if it's appropriate, is to feature staff members on their Facebook page. It makes people feel connected into the business. It highlights them in a fun way in the professional space. And it gives your business, your clients or potential clients, it kind of gives them a face to connect with, a name when they're calling or thinking about calling your office. If you're still stuck, you can look at the who, what, when, where, why, and how. You can look at how you help and solve their pain. There's so much pain. Again, this slide was written with picking up on the last one with the idea for accounting. There's so much pain that people are having out there in the new normal. They need a lot of problems solved. So think about the pain that your ideal clients are having. I was just on the phone yesterday with a business consultant, and he still didn't understand. We finally got him to the point where he understood the pain that small business owners are even having, in feeling disconnected, in mindfulness, in taking care of ourselves. We can work 24/7 now because we're all working at home again. And so we're trying to figure out the best ways to position that on his website as well. Okay, writing blogs. I have found, by and large, since I've been in the business now for almost 10 years, is that people think that they are really bad writers. I can tell you that you are probably already a fantastic writer, and you don't need to reinvent the wheel every single time. First of all, once a week is ideal for your blog. Have a very typical structure. If your topics are in your editorial calendar, you will avoid writer's block. You only need to write about 350 to 500 words. People have the attention span of a gnat. And what I'm learning is that in this new normal, there's so much competition out there for your services that individuals are hunting and pecking very quickly. So they're not even reading everything that you're writing. Blogs help your site rank, and they give snippets of information. That's what people are using it for. And then make sure each blog is optimized with the right keywords. Now, I go old school when I teach blogging. I do not go into we've all heard about the new math. And for the parents out there, I know you're doing a lot of homeschooling. My heart goes out to you. Don't make this more complicated than it is. A blog post is nothing more than an SEO optimized title, an opening paragraph, 3 paragraphs, and a strong close. We can even go to the military model here. Tell them what you're going to tell them what you want to tell them, and then tell them what you just told them. Rewrite it a little differently so that it's just not that redundant, but it's not very complicated. You want to just show that you have the expertise. to solve their problem. And you can get really creative here too. You can write blog posts that are lists. You can write how, what to do, what not to do, but don't make it overly complicated because people don't want to read endless paragraphs. Use a lot of bold, use a lot of titles, a lot of paragraph headers. That's what people want to see. They almost want to get to your website and see their problem glaring at them and then how you solve it. Now, social media. Everyone panics when they, and I always say this when I speak, everyone panics about social media. What do I do? How do I do it? Who do I connect to? What do I, it's a 3-step process. That is it. You need to set up your accounts. You need to connect with individuals, and you need to then engage with individuals. First, you need to know the culture of each site. Each site is very different, and we're going to go through a little bit of that next. I want to know where your ideal clients are hanging out. So I've said it a bunch of times now. In LinkedIn, it's the B2B. People are looking for those professional connections. Facebook, it's a little bit of business and a little bit of personal. If you're in the 40 to 60-year-old market, if that's your ideal client, you need to be on Facebook, but carefully. Twitter is the cocktail party of the internet. We find a lot of guys hanging out on Twitter quietly, following sports figures. There's also a lot of individuals who are following the news. If you want to get in the news, or if your ideal clients are news people, you want to be on Twitter. If you're looking to reach women, Instagram, Pinterest may be a good idea for you. So make sure you know who your ideal client is and then where are they hanging out. You want to then set up each account. You need a professional headshot done. Now, in today's world, that can be a little tricky, but what I want to get away from are the non-professional pictures that people are using on their profiles. That would look like a picture of your daughter's wedding where, you're cutting out arms, but her veil is across your shoulder. Bad idea. So if you need help finding a photographer that is working appropriately and safely during COVID, please let me know. I know a bunch. You want to then start to connect to the right people, and you want to share great content. Now, I cannot stress this enough, and you will hear me say it several times. About half the content that you share should be yours, and about half should be the content of others. I think in a slide coming up, I say 60-40. Sometimes I say 75-25. The bottom line is all the content that you share just can't be yours. You'll start to look like an advertisement. Now, again, you need a blog that is internal to your website. I don't work with a client unless they have an active blog, whether I'm going to write it or they have an outside service writing it. I don't care. You need a blog. Again, you need a profile picture. You also need a logo. As the SCORE people can tell you, if you already have a SCORE member, you do not need to spend a pile of money on these things. A logo can be done. You can certainly hire a graphic designer, and I have a whole list of those in my pocket. But you can also use an online service. You can use Canva. And if that's all you have right now, I think that's great. Just make sure that you have a logo. You need a very clear outline of your ideal client. If you haven't done your ideal client avatar, make sure that you Google or talk to me, and we'll go through all the demographics, sociographics of your ideal client. One thing that a lot of small business owners are now doing, they're actually naming their ideal client avatar, like, oh, I want to go find another Monica out there in the world, which is really funny. And again, as you're getting started, make sure that your keyword research is done. So I'm not going to take a ton of time, but you can see from this list, this is how specific you need to get with your ideal client. You need to know what they do, where they do it, their education levels, their religions, fears, pains, all of that. And again, we can go over this on the phone when you book a call with me, but I need you to get as specific as possible. Now, since we're talking about social media, I want to talk a minute about passwords. This is one area that will drive you right up a tree when you are setting up your social media accounts. Inevitably, when I start to work with a new client, they don't have the passwords to their accounts. On my website, you can download a form. It's called the Password Keeper. You can also use some online services. I use LastPass. I swear by it. So what I want you to do is stop setting up new accounts when you lose the password. I've had clients start with me, and it takes us 6 months to find all the Twitters and the Facebook business pages. Make sure that you have only one of each. And if you have questions about recovering an account that you know is out there that you can't find the password for, let me know and I can help you out with that. Now, again, you have to optimize each account. You have to make sure that each account is uniquely written for the individual platform that you're writing for. I don't want you to stuff your keywords into your description, fill everything out, and each profile should absolutely be unique and unique from your bio on your website. We do not want duplicate content out there. So LinkedIn, again, B2B, you need to complete your profile, fill out every section. You want your first goal, and for those of you who know, I was a professor at Rutgers for quite some time, so I do love to give homework. Your first goal with LinkedIn is you want to have 500 connections. There's something magical in the LinkedIn algorithm. Once you have 500 connections, please connect with me. A lot of people use me as a first connection as they start to build. They're like, well, they want someone to first accept their connection request, and I will. As you get more involved in the LinkedIn universe, we want you asking people for recommendations, getting endorsements, and I also would like you eventually to set up a company page. Now, what do you post on LinkedIn? It is all professional. No pictures of cats, no pictures of your lunch. So in fact, I think we should ban all posting about lunch anyway, but please keep this professional. How are you helping people? Now, if there's one tip that you walk away from in the social media space today, it is to set up a Google My Business page. It is the one thing that I find that most small business owners miss, and it is a beautiful opportunity. First of all, it's free, and it is a wonderful opportunity to showcase your business and increase your SEO. This is your maps listing in Google. So if you're wondering why you're not listed in that middle search in Google search where the map shows up, you need to fill this out. Well, sign into Google, fill out sign up for Google My Business page, and then fill it completely out. It needs to be verified. Now, what's so interesting is that for as technologically savvy as Google is, they still verify them using the mail. If you've heard, the mail is having quite a bit of a lag these days. Some of my clients have been waiting 2 to 3 weeks for their Google My Business postcards, my newer clients. Get this done today. Try to get verified today and get that postcard sent to you. I always say Google toys, whether it's Google My Business or YouTube, when Google gives us a toy, we play with it. And that means that you should be posting content to your Google My Business profile regularly. Facebook, here we go. Many of you need to let go of Facebook as your go-to. I know that when social media started, we all got involved with Facebook. It's easy, we understand it. The problem is that Mark Zuckerberg didn't have enough money, and so he started something called Facebook advertising. I'm sure you guys get hammered with ads just as much as I do. You need to have a presence on Facebook, but Mark has basically told us the only way that your clients or your followers are going to see your content is if you pay for it. So if your engagement is low, that is why. Now, a tip for today, what I want you to tell you is that Facebook is continually adding new things that you can add into your business Facebook page. The biggest one in the last couple of years was the services tab. Now, again, if you don't know where that is, I can walk you through it, but click on the services tab and tell us what you do. There is a theory, I can't say I believe it or don't believe it, that there is some SEO power in your Facebook business page. So make sure that every section, especially those tabs for services, are completely filled out. This is also a great place for you to take reviews. So again, most important is to take them on Google Maps. And then I would say put them on a couple on your website and then take a couple on Facebook as you start to build your review plan. Okay, Twitter. If you're not up to speed with what I've just gone over, Twitter is going to be something maybe for a quarter or two for you to work on. But for those of you who want to use Twitter now, Twitter is like the cocktail party of the internet. It is super quick. Tweets go by in like 1 second. You absolutely must know how to use hashtags to be on Twitter. The good thing, though, about Twitter is that you can reach audiences that are not anywhere else on the internet. So people that don't really like social media, they tend to be on Twitter. Also, what happened, and I have 3 20-something-year-old daughters, as all the parents got onto Facebook in the last couple years, and that started to grow, the kids migrated to Twitter and Instagram because we're not there, so they can hide. Twitter also, as we've learned in the last couple of weeks, you talk about the new normal. A lot of people are on Twitter looking for information. So the platform is building. If you start to build a presence there, you can have some luck in finding your ideal clients. Okay, Instagram and Pinterest, again, heavily dominated by women, heavy use of keywords. So if you don't know what your keywords and your hashtags are, you need to do that research first. And here's the biggest thing with Instagram and Pinterest: you need pictures. Every single time you post, you need to have a picture with that post. Now, I will also share that you need pictures that are yours to legally use. You cannot go into Google Images, and yes, I have had clients that are doing this. You can't just go into Google Images and pick a picture that you want to use. You will find yourself with a copyright lawsuit and could be sued for in upwards of $20,000. I want you to use a site like Pixabay or like Canva that allows you to use the pictures. If you have questions about that, you let me know. Okay, so then what I want to quickly go over now is who you should be connecting to. So connect to each other on this call. You know, the people that we, first of all, connect to the moderators. We love to build our networks and we're happy to connect with you. Connect with me, connect to those who, oops, wait, I didn't switch the slide. Current customers and clients. I want you to connect with press members, volunteers and organizations. Every single time you meet somebody, you should send them a connection request on LinkedIn. In fact, I was just on my second networking, I've been up really early today. My second networking call the day, a friend of mine said he actually puts notes in LinkedIn because every single time he meets somebody in the professional or personal space, he connects with them and makes a note about where they met. So he can tell you the date, the exact time, and where it was that you met. This is so beneficial to him in building his business now because he has all these great connections and notes on where he met. So make sure you're connecting there as well. Power partners, the press, connect with other the SCORE volunteers. They'll help you through the process as well. And then you need a plan to be social. So social media, I wish I could remember where I heard this from. It is definitely not my line. The entire point of social media is to entertain, educate, and inform. Now more than ever, people are bored to tears because they are all staying home. So the more you can educate them, entertain them, and inform them in a positive way and make a difference and solve a problem for them, the more you'll hook them. I want you to share a variety of information. Don't just share, hey, I have a plumbing supply company and I'd love to have your business. That's not interesting. I want you to share great content about whatever it is. You know, does your plumbing supply company help residential? Can you help business? What's this leaky faucet about? You know, what do you have to be careful of? The weather is getting colder. Turn off your faucets. I know a very little bit about taking care of a house. I do know that much. So make sure that you're sharing great content. Send personal notes. What is the one thing that we have seen that has skyrocketed during COVID? Is spammy notes on LinkedIn. I probably get 10 to 20 of them a day, and it is horrible. If I want to connect to somebody, I send them a personal note. Now, again, it takes time, but it is well worth it. Don't send me 500 words in a note on LinkedIn. Make it concise and ask me to get on a call if you really want to connect. Then you really have to have a plan to be social. You want to be commenting, tweeting, retweeting. You want to be liking stuff. You want to be adding value to the others that you're connected with on LinkedIn. Again, talk about your clients' pain points and the problems that you solve. And if you're really not sure what to do, I always say this: stalk your competition. What is it that your competitors are doing? Why is their social media more successful than yours? And I can guarantee you that if you start to follow them as uniquely you'll start to win the game as well. Now, went over this a little bit. This is something that we've talked about before in SCORE. Reviews are very important. I want you to have a simple set of directions for people to follow. This will help with your SEO. You can take them on your LinkedIn, your Yelp, your Google. One thing that we don't really have to worry about, but I want you to be aware of, don't just have a computer in your office or your shop that you're going to have an IP issue there. You want them to uniquely do it from their homes. And then you can share those reviews in your newsletters and in your blog posts. So now we have to get you moving on social, right? Like you need to find good content to share. So first thing I want you to do is I want you to go into Google Alerts and set up alerts for whatever it is that you do. So you can see this is an actual snap of my Google Alerts page. So you can see that I have alerts set up for SEO, social media, my name, and then just the last name, Gardella. What I want you to do here is this will then generate a list every day. Oh, make sure it's set up to send them to you every day, but it'll give you a list. Google will actually send you a list of hot articles around the web that have been published in these areas for you to possibly share. I'm going to skip that one. If you have any questions about taking pictures, we'll get on a call. But in the interest of time, we're going to skip that one because I know you're all dying to know, okay, Jen, how often do I post on social media? I will tell you what I think. Now, as many of you heard, I have a PhD in educational psychology. So I know an awful lot about research. And I can tell you that I've actually never seen a great research study done on when the best time to post is on social media. We know that according to Google, and again, best practices, Google doesn't necessarily tell us, but the experts inform us, blogging 2 to 4 times per month. You need to be posting every day to LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and Google. More importantly than that is the time that you post. Now, at first, I don't really want you to worry about the time. Everyone's like, what time should I post? I can't decide what to post. Just post, just start posting. And then if you really want to know when your ideal clients are playing, you need to think about it. I have learned for my business, as someone who is trying to reach business to business, that B2B space, 10 a.m., 2 p.m., and 8 p.m. So people get in, they start working, they take a break for social media around 10 o'clock. Then they, work a little bit more, go to lunch, check in on their social media accounts around 2 o'clock, and then they go home, have dinner, put the kids to bed, and they're back on social media around 8. In the new normal, I will share that I know even more people are waking up every day and immediately checking their phone. So first thing in the morning, if there's a post, like if you are a local pizza shop, put a post up there first thing in the morning about your special of the day. That's a big tip for you. Now, what to share? We went over that already. Finding good content to share. So you just don't want to share content from your website. You will look like an advertisement. So I want you sharing blogs of non-competitors. A good friend of mine is on this call. She is continually sharing the content of her power partners, her business partners that she works with. She sells title insurance. She shares content from real estate agents and mortgage brokers and creates a great network that way. Google Alerts, again, will help you find great content. Pocket is an app. It sits on your phone. It allows you to save good content for you to then share. You can go into Twitter, search on a hashtag that's related to your business and find content that other people are sharing and use that. Go to your competitors, find out what they are posting and post similar things. Entrepreneur.com, those are, or Inc. or Forbes or Huffington Post, very safe spaces. They have great content. Be careful of sharing content from subscription sites. So what's been happening in the last couple months? Everyone's reading a lot more on the web. While the bigger sites, even Medium, they're limiting the number of articles that you can read. If you share something from the Wall Street Journal and someone wants to read it, they might not have a subscription. So don't share content from sites that have a paywall between the reader and the content. And then what's going on around town? So many people have hyperlocal businesses. There's nothing wrong with sharing content about what's going on, that shows, again, you're part of a bigger community. Okay, have a plan to get this all done. Do not share the same content at the same time on every platform on the same day. I highly recommend, and I put this in the context of a blog post, week 1, you're going to share that blog post on LinkedIn. Week 2, you're going to share it in a tweet. Week 3 on Facebook, and week 4, Google My Business. And make sure you change the copy. So the way that you speak on LinkedIn is very different than the way that you speak on Facebook. Twitter should have a lot more hashtags. Google My Business should not have any hashtags. You'll look ridiculous. So be careful. Now, you may be thinking, oh my gosh, how am I going to get all this done? And I agree, there's a lot. So I want you to have a plan. I want you to have an editorial calendar. That's number one. I want you to batch your work. So as you start to write out your editorial calendar, start to write your blogs. Outline, maybe you're going to outline 12 blogs all at once. Believe it or not, it's only going to take you about an hour, and it gives you such a great base. So batch your work. Outsource what you can, and I can help you do that. Automate what you can. Now, remember also, as you get this plan churning, it's going to take about 6 months. I really want to talk about automation. So you can use a platform like Hootsuite and Buffer. I'm not really sure if they have free options right now because, again, the new normal, everyone is going to them. Excuse me. But never have auto posting done for you. So what happens with my clients is we write their social media posts and then they approve them. I just never put stuff up on accounts because I think it would be a good idea for my clients. Your social media accounts are yours. It's your voice. It's your business. And we need to make sure that your auto post, that any posting that's done for you is approved by you. What we just learned last week, as there was unrest in Washington, to put it lightly, is you cannot set it and forget it. There were a bunch of theories in the social media community about, do we take down posts? Do we not? If you are an individual or a business where it was not appropriate to be posting last week as the Capitol building was under siege, you should have taken everything down. And we did have some problems with that. So be very mindful and careful. You never just set and forget social media. You need to always be remembering, okay, what am I posting and what's going on in the world? So I want you to have a couple goals. Your goal, and some of the people that have I've been speaking for years and they've been following me around and they always walk away with a couple tips that they implement. It's very helpful to have a goal. So by the end of January, you want to have your keyword research done, or you want to publish one blog post. Do not think that you can have an entire social media strategy and a life and sleep by the end of January as you are running your business. You will drive yourself insane. So any small incremental goals that you can set up for yourself would be great. The most important thing is to get everything set up correctly. I don't want you to have the wrong type of Google My Business account or the wrong type of YouTube account. First of all, it's a pain to undo what you've done if there's a problem, but also it's just so much easier to start off the right way from the beginning. Create a strategy. If you're going to have multiple people in your business working on this, you also want a policy for your business. You want everybody to know exactly what's tolerable and who has access to the account. LastPass is very helpful with that because people can have access without actually seeing your passwords. And then you can also, the editorial calendar will help you get it all done. And then using an automated platform as well. I'm done. I just realized, I'm like, oh, look. So here are my slides. Here are my last couple slides. You can find me on social media all over the place. I tend to brand myself under Dr. Jenny Lynn. You can find me on Facebook under the Gardella group, and LinkedIn, search on my name. And hopefully, if I've done my job correctly, I will pop up. And I highly recommend you book a call with me. See, you can even see in this video, I still have my pink cell phone, same phone. But if you go over to my website, jennifergardella.com, there's a little section on the right-hand side to book a call. It'll take you to my calendar, and we will be able to talk on the phone and get all your questions answered.
Thank you, Jennifer.
How'd I do?
You did fantastic. You really had a very thorough presentation and really, hit some wonderful points that I think could be very helpful to our attendees. We do have several questions in the chat. And so I did take names and times so I could remember to go back through and get these questions answered. So the first question we have comes from Anne Marie. So let me scroll back here.
Whew.
All right. Okay. So Anne-Marie wants to know, what is the difference between website articles and blog posts? And also, what is a LinkedIn long post?
Okay, so a website article is a core business area on your website. Anne-Marie, I'm sorry, I don't know what you do. But let's just say you are a landscaping service in the area. Your main website articles are going to be on things like weed control, lawn mowing, tree removal. Again, I'm talking generally here. So those are the core things that you do. Your blog post is 350 to 500 words that you put on your website on a regular basis. So you are writing blog posts 1 to 4 times a month, hopefully, and they are more newsy, specific to one little pain point that you solve.
Okay, wonderful. All right, so our next question comes from Barbara Collins. Can I cut and paste my blog onto my Facebook page? My logo tends to show up when I paste a blog to Facebook. The logo doesn't look correctly. I was told that this is a Facebook technical issue. Facebook typically doesn't like to advertise websites because it's competition. Is this true? So do you need me to repeat that?
No, I know exactly what she's talking about, and I don't want to get too technical. The problem is in the way that your website is set up for social media. So if you have a WordPress website, there's something called a featured image on every single blog post, and your website designer, something is wrong with your featured images. So you're going to need to go back in and make sure that your featured images are correctly set up. I do not recommend ever just posting an entire blog post that you take from your website to Facebook or LinkedIn, because that's duplicate content. And we don't want any duplicate content out there on the internet. Oh, wait, Aaliyah, I forgot to answer the LinkedIn long post. Can I go back?
Yes.
Okay, great. So a LinkedIn long post, if you do not have a blog on if you don't have a website that you can control, right? So realtors run into this, some financial planners, although that's a whole nother ball of wax right there, run into this as well. LinkedIn actually has a microblogging platform worked into it that you can use as a personal blog for your business. I should say a professional blog for your business. So if you don't have a website, like I have jennifergardella.com that I can blog on, if you don't have that, you can do long posts on LinkedIn. But again, just to reiterate the question that we were just answering about Facebook, do not just copy and paste a blog from one place to the next. That's not good social media. And also it can cause you some technical issues with Google.
Okay, and another part to Barbara's question is, should I embed one of my Facebook videos on my website?
Okay, so if I'm gonna make a guess here, first of all, highly recommend that we didn't even get to this, but we could do a whole workshop on videos. Facebook live videos are killing it right now as far as engagement. I can post or I can do a Facebook live video for a client, and within a couple hours, we have a couple hundred views on it.
Jennifer, I'm sorry to interrupt everyone because this is such a hot topic. I really do apologize, but it is 10 o'clock and I know we have to go. And I would say look forward to more information and more workshops like this one. And you can find them on our school workshop library. And we can find all of today's webinar as well. Thank you, ladies, for your participation. You were wonderful, outstanding. Kudos to both of you. At this time, we are going to stop. We're over our 10 o'clock mark. Look forward to our future information on workshops such as this. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye,
Take care.
everyone.
I didn't realize we had a hard stop. I thought we could keep going.
Hold on one second.
Okay.
Just hold on. Why don't you keep going until I get the information cleared up, okay?
Are we still live?
Yes, we are.
Oh, okay, we're
so
still live.
So then we can, if they're going to get the recording, then maybe we can answer some of these questions for them.
Okay,
and then they can
and that's
watch the
fine.
recording.
Great.
Okay, so there was a question in the Q&A from Kathleen, and we have actually a lot of questions here in the Q&A.
I know.
I have an interior design business which specializes in not only decorating work, but focuses on renovation project management. My website is built and maintained by Hunter Douglas Window Covering Company. As I'm also a priority dealer for the products, I prefer to use the website to drive that business versus design side. I have a 95% referral rate for design business, so I'm not necessarily looking to grow that side of my business, but rather the window covering, as people don't think to come to an interior designer to just cover their windows with blinds and shades. What would be the best way to do that on these platforms?
So the first thing that you should do is have a website that talks about exactly what it is you do. That would be the key. Keep the referral websites intact and make sure then that your primary website, has your core business areas and you're regularly talking about the projects that you want more of. And then you share those appropriately on the platforms.
Okay. We had another question. If you could repeat how to get the Google business form.
Yeah, and I saw a question pop up about someone that had multiple Google My Business pages. So
Yes.
just Google My Business. I don't know the exact website. So go to
Okay.
Google My Business and set it up. Now, if you have multiple Google My Business pages, you need to delete every one of them but one. If you have multiple locations, that's fine. But if you have multiple pages set up for the same address, that is going to be a problem. And I'd actually be shocked if you're not already in Google jail for that. So I've had clients who, they start with me and they have 5 Google My Business pages set up in maps and like they're violating Google policies all over the place. It's super easy to set up. Just remember the physical postcard comes in the mail, as ridiculous as that is. So be on the lookout then in the snail mail for it.
Okay. This is from an anonymous attendee. Any information on Clubhouse?
No.
Okay.
How easy was that?
That was an easy one. All right, let me see. The next one is from Catherine Woodhouse. What is the difference between a Facebook personal page and a Facebook business page? I've been told only big businesses have Facebook pages. What is the purpose of one page versus another? Is it even helpful to have a Facebook personal page if you're launching a business?
So you have to have and log into Facebook through a Facebook personal page. If you're a small business owner, you definitely want a personal Facebook page. Your business page is then part of your login structure. So I shouldn't say that. It's part of your personal page structure. So you can only access the business through the personal. You should absolutely have a business Facebook page and be sharing information to it. The nice thing is that every once in a while, and you will see me do this, while I post a lot of stuff to my, well, not recently, but to my business Facebook page, I can then share little things. My personal connections love to hear what I'm up to, right? First of all, they can use the information if they own businesses, and a lot of my business connections are now friends, but also it just allows me another place to share info. For instance, I shared that I was doing this workshop today and some of my friends signed up. So people want to hear from you. You're just not a business, and big businesses have Facebook, but small businesses do as well.
Okay. Our next question comes from Michelle Mast. From a YouTube perspective, I've heard that creating a video and posting there can be beneficial. Any advice?
Yeah, I think we went into this just when we hit the 10 o'clock mark and we were cut off. What you want to do is you want to be making a lot of videos, and they're hard, and I know people hate to watch them. What I would recommend is start with some Facebook Lives. You can do it right through Zoom integration. It's super easy to figure out. You then have that live video sitting on Facebook. You will really drive a lot of engagement with that video. You then download that video and you put it up on YouTube with the right keywords in the description. You're now playing in 2 worlds with the same video, and that is not considered duplicate content.
Okay. And we have another question from Anne Marie. Should you interact on social from your personal page or your business page?
It depends. So if you're given an opinion, people want to see you as a person. Businesses, if you talk about, correct language, which I'm really not a big guru here on the English language by any stretch of the imagination, but there's this concept of personification. A business is not an expert. You're the expert. So you'll see in LinkedIn, you get encouraged a lot to respond to this post on behalf of your business, but I think that's kind of silly. So sometimes it could be advantageous, but I recommend, especially to the average small business owner, do it personally.
Okay, this next one is from Abby. It's kind of a question sort of statement. Can I have someone help me with all these? I have been struggling to do this. I just started my business and I really want to see it grow. So
book a call. That's all I can tell you. We'll get you started doing something. I can't help you with all of it if it depends on where you're at.
Okay, so over to the Q&As from Jing Wang. What is your opinion to do a YouTube channel, B2B? Do business owners hang there at all, or should I stay on LinkedIn?
So you absolutely should have, if you have the bandwidth and the guts to do a YouTube channel, absolutely do one. Your YouTube videos will give you something interesting to share on LinkedIn. So it serves two purposes. It's phenomenal for SEO, and you can embed those videos into your blog posts and your website. And it creates like this amazing web for you.
Okay, wonderful. From Katina Light, I would love a workshop on videos. So I guess that's for, for Bucks County. She'd love a workshop on videos. And let's see, this is from Joyce. Okay, it was more of a statement, not necessarily a question. So, but that concludes all of the questions that were in the chat and the Q&A.
Great. Let's see, we're only 8 minutes over. That's awesome.
All right.
Well, again, you ladies did a wonderful job. I want to thank you for the exciting workshop that we had today. Remember, for those of you who are still on, that this workshop is recorded and the slides will be emailed to everyone who registered. I would like to personally thank our speakers, Aaliyah and Dr. Jennifer, for doing such an outstanding job, and to give a special thanks to Charlie Morris, who is a Bucks County mentor, for providing us with exceptional technical support. I would like to remind everyone who registered for today that our next workshop is our final in the series of a 5-part virtual workshop, which is outlined on our SCORE websites. Our next workshop will be on Wednesday, February 17th at 9 o'clock. Our speaker will be Major Ben Collins. He will be speaking on unconscious bias, a major leadership blind site in your small business operation. Remember to find out more about SCORE and how we can help you with your business. Please visit us at the information provided during the website. And I want to thank our speakers for letting everyone know that SCORE is here for you, and we have mentors to help you out. This workshop was provided by a collaboration between Tri-County, Bucks County, Westchester, and Delaware Counties SCORE chapters. If you want to become a SCORE mentor, volunteer, subject matter expert, or workshop presenter, such as our ladies that joined us today, please contact us. Thank you very much for attending. Goodbye.
Bye.